We're live!
Hello.
Hello, everybody. This is Dr. Dain Heer with one of my favorite people in the world, Dr. Anthony Mattis. And, hi. And as it says, I'm a body whisperer. So we're going to have a conversation, my friends. We're going to be conversating, you get the idea, about this wonderful topic. And if you haven't given StreamYard permission to give us your name, then now would be a good time. I don't know how you do that, but do that. Aw, thank you. Two of my favorite people. Hi. Hello, beautiful people. So part of the reason we are having this conversation is because the new Body Whispering book just came out. I was going to hold it up and show you, but it's in the other room. But it's a good book. There's this really wonderful guy on the cover. It came out as a bestseller on day one, and it has just been rocking people's worlds, and we wanted to talk. So Mr. Anthony, how you doing?
I'm doing awesome. I'm glad to be here. Thank you. And I'm looking forward to talking about this body whispering stuff. The book is absolutely brilliant, and it was such a gift when you asked me to actually read the book and just share sort of like my insights on what it actually would be creating in the world. So what a true gift the book is.
Thank you. So tell me, when I read what you wrote about the book, is that correct English? Yes.
Yeah.
My brain.
Yeah. To me it is.
Okay, good. When I read what you wrote, I was like, wow. I mean, it literally, it brought a tear to my eye, quite literally. I was like, wow, this is so cool to perceive how you perceived it. Can you just talk a little more about, about what it was for you and how it landed in your world?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, well, as I was reading it, I was like, wow, you could just perceive how you opened up yourself like to the whole world, and you allowed us to come into your universe and to go on that journey with you as a healer. And the level of vulnerability you had in that book describing sort of your journey as a healer and the different things that would come up for you personally, but also realizing how much of that was your awareness of what was going on in other people's worlds and not buying it as yours. It was just amazing, because sometimes, especially as an energetic healer, right, there's so many peaks and valleys that you go through, and you really did an amazing job of just almost detailing the journey that one can go on and how not to get caught up in the judgments in other people's universes, so that you're no longer at the effect of their universe as a healer. So you could actually empower people to choose instead of trying to like actually heal them or actually take away their pain or problems. And it was just beautiful. And it got me to see, like, it was like the journey that I've personally been on since I've started Access. I'm like, wow, that was me too. That was me. That was me. Thank you. And yeah, and it just takes the sort of the mystery out of something that feels so mysterious in the energetic healing realm. And there is no formula in consciousness. Is this a guidebook, so to speak? Yeah, but that almost sort of limits it. So the way you're able to articulate this world of energetics, and that one, even if you're not a healer, or in the healing profession, I should say, you should read this book too, because it really gives you perspective of the things you pick up on other people's universes. And it was just brilliant. I thought it was just well written, and it takes you on this amazing journey of vulnerability and insight, and it was awesome.
Thank you. And I'm glad you said for all of that. And I'm glad you mentioned the part about it's not just for people who have healing as a profession. It was really written for people who have bodies. There's so much of this that applies. And over the last 20 years, I'm working with thousands upon thousands of people. There are these things that I started noticing that were things that we could all benefit from having the awareness of, because, you know, we walk around with bodies on this planet, but most people don't recognize it. And so much of what is out there is about do this structured routine, do this.
Yeah.
None of it is like listen to your body, you know? And that was why, you know, I wanted to bring this conversation and also make it about something that's so easy that you couldn't not do it. And it was an interesting thing, because when I wrote the book, it was because I realized this conversation could actually be heard now. And that wasn't something that was possible when I started this 20 years ago. And I would try to talk to people about it. You know, I would give them some of these ideas and they'd be like, "What? I don't understand. I don't get it." And I was like, "It's plain English. It's right there, you know, and it's the plain energetics of the way this works." Oh, and thank you all for saying I love the book. All of you who are loving the book, thank you. And so, but finally, so I did this course called Body Whispering. It's a Kajabi course. It's a video course with you know, downloads and things to help you along. And it was in rewatching that at one point where I went, "Oh my God, we can actually do the book now." And so the book is loosely based on the things that are in there, very loosely, but it walks you on a path where even if you've never done anything energetic, even if you've never done anything to connect with your body, it walks you using your own awareness to that place where you start to have a connection and a gratitude for this beautiful thing, you know? And there was something else I was just about to say, but I forgot. But just the fact that that conversation is available now. So I want to answer one of the questions. Somebody said, "How is body whispering different from SOP?" Well, if you have these tools of body whispering, SOP gets a lot greater. But also, so does your life. You know, that's the real thing about this is it's about increasing the quality of your life, the joy and the ease of your life. You know, this is about living. This is not about I don't know, being in a cave or, you know what I mean? It's like, it's not what occurs while you're reading. It's what occurs as you're reading that changes how you function after reading it. So that.
Yeah.
So you also, everybody, go ahead.
Yeah, well, I mean, one of the things that you invite people to in the book is that you emphasize a lot that it's actually not about doing. It really gets the person to actually see you, the being, is enough. And when you as the being show up to a session to work on people or just to be in someone's presence, showing up as you is all that is required to create that space of possibilities in that person's universe. And where as chiropractors, we studied, I know both you and I have talked about this, we've studied so many different techniques, and yet there would always seem to be a limitation in where we can go. And with body whispering and the symphony of possibilities and the magic of ESB, energetic synthesis of being, it's like there are no limitations. And the only thing that's required is for you to show up as you with this space of vulnerability. And that's what you invite the reader to.
I love that. All that's required is for you to show up as you with a space of vulnerability and recognizing that you don't have the answers and you don't need to have the answers. What you have to have is the question, in which case then the body can actually lead you to things that you never considered could work for it, that oftentimes are so much easier than all of the other stuff we're trying to do and make work, you know? It's such an amazing journey to create a connection with your body and to live with that, because let's face it, your body's with you all the time. And you know, it's the one of the common elements of our reality is our body's with us all the time and we're with it. And we should have this great connection with it. And if we do, if we can allow ourselves that vulnerability with our body and to just show up with it, it's like there's this communion that occurs, this sense where you're no longer separate and you're no longer in that place where you're judging it to try to make it change. In fact, one of the things that I walk people through there is actually standing in the mirror, standing up. Well, that would be fun. Standing in the mirror. No, standing in front of the mirror. Yeah, that's probably actually standing in front of the mirror and being present with your body and looking at those parts that you normally judge and making a different choice. And it's so cool, the people that have said, oh my goodness, I've done this. And it has been phenomenal. And I didn't know that I could do that. I didn't even know that was a choice that's possible. And I think that's one of the other gifts of this is we have so many choices with our bodies that we don't realize. And a lot of people are in this place of believing that they don't have any choice. And so here we are, we've got this chance, this door is open in a way it hasn't been before. And this ability to actually like this thing, So you as an amazing body whisperer in your own right. So let me ask you this: if you could give people one tool, one suggestion. I want to post this comment here. I love this. What if nothing about your body needs to be fixed? It just desires to be received. That. And hey, how you doing? I'm running the StreamYard show, so watch out. So if there were one thing that you could say to people, because we're both big fans of giving people tools so that people actually can, they watch the live, they can actually get some change out of this also. So if there was one thing that you could talk about, whether it's in the book or not, if there was one tool or one awareness that you could give people or one suggestion to get closer to this thing, what would it be? Like, what have you found is one of the ways that you're able to get people to start having that connection?
Wow, there's so many tools available. It's hard to just pick one,
Yeah,
it's like an infinite amount of resources that are actually available, and to choose one. One of the things that actually stood out was, you talked a lot about how we judge our bodies, and one of the tools we learn in Access is to live in and ask the question. And so if you do have stuff that's going on with your body or your mind, you're like, what if 50 to 100% of the things that are going on for your body don't even belong to you? So just asking that one question, whether you believe it or not, or if it seems kind of hokey at first in the beginning, I know it did for me, but when I would stay in the question, it actually gave me that awareness that whatever I thought was mine, especially the judgments, it wasn't mine. It actually belonged to someone else's. So asking that amazing question of, who does this belong to? Because the body is an information resource center. It is giving you information about the environment around you, both the physical world and the non-physical world. And so it's like, what if we stayed in that question, okay, body, who does this belong to? Especially judgment. And I loved how you said too in the book, how like in this reality, they use judgment like as a source for creation. And I'm like, whoa. And I'm like, oh my God. And it's like, it's like, what if we can actually create from question, right? And choice and possibility and contribution. And what would that actually create, not only for our bodies, but for the whole world, and invite people to?
Yeah.
So who does this belong to? I would say is my number one go-to.
Boy, I hear you on that one. And I mean, I would say who does this belong to is part of 99% of the sessions that I do. And some huge amount of what I look at with my own body. And it's so, there was something in the way that you put it, or the energy with which you expressed it about our bodies are giving us awareness. That's their job. Well, it's part of their job. I mean, it's just part of what they do, part of what they are. And if you can just get the simplicity of that, then this idea of who does this belong to becomes so much more accessible, because it really is this simplistic, it's such a simple idea that most people miss. And this is, I'm so glad you brought that up, and I'm so glad we're having this conversation, because this is another one of those things that I realized when you said it, and said it in the way that you did, brilliantly, thank you, was people can actually get this now. So it's like, if, you know, it's like if, I don't know, like my AirPod case, you know, what's its job is, well, to hold the AirPods and charge them. Like, okay, so if you realize that that's what its job is, then whatever is in that realm is just what it's doing. So it's like, if your body's job, or if what it does is give you awareness, then it's like, it's just awareness. It's not like, if you are sensing a pain somewhere and you go, well, who does that belong to? Is it mine, someone else's, or something else's? And if it's mine, you want to go, okay, everywhere I bought it is mine when it wasn't. Pock and pot all that stuff and return to sender. If it's someone else's, acknowledge you're having the awareness in real time. If it's something else's, it's usually where the earth is actually asking for our contribution. And the only way it can get our attention, because the earth doesn't talk in words, the only way it can get our attention is with a pain. And in that case, if you give energy to the earth, however you would do that, the pain often starts dissipating. But all of these things are elements of awareness. And it's so, it's just so cool when you can get, oh, it's just awareness. Because we do so much when we perceive something like that. Our idea is, if I feel it, it must be mine. Except, which can seem true, okay. But if you perceive it, is it still yours? You know? Or is that just a perception? You know, and there's a huge difference between, for example, I perceive sadness or I'm sad. And what happens is people perceive sadness and they go, oh my God, I'm sad. Now they've taken what our body was giving us as awareness, which is like, hey, sadness is occurring somewhere, just letting you know, just so you can navigate the world. Sadness is occurring somewhere. And we go, oh my God, I'm so sad. Because we love that shit. We love to act like, it's killing me. It's terrible. I mean, why do we do this? I don't know. We're just really good at it. But instead, if you go, oh, I'm perceiving sadness, you acknowledge you and your body for doing its job of giving you the awareness. And then it's like, oh, it's just awareness. Okay, cool. So everything I'm doing to buy it is mine. I will now undo that. Bye-bye. And then it's like, thank you, body. You know, you can start to have gratitude for your body because it's doing what it's supposed to. It's giving you the awareness. And so exactly. And it's so, I just love it. This is the whole thing when I said I wrote the book now because it could finally be heard. And you said that, and a lot of people out there had a light bulb go off, and hopefully with this conversation had a light bulb go off or on. I think the light bulb would go on. Anyway, you know what I mean. They had a light bulb moment of something that they've looked at probably thousands of times, but didn't really get it. And here it is. Boom. Awesome.
Yeah. And you know, and part of the gift too is as you start to work with people's bodies with all the tools that are available and access, is that their bodies will actually become more sensitive, more aware to the world around them, not less aware. So it's like, if you can get out of judgment of yourself and of the rest of the world and actually have no point of view, then you can actually receive the information and, you know, create from that space, opposed to go into a space of contraction.
Oh, I'm glad you brought up the thing of more awareness.
Did you lose me?
Nope. We have not lost you, but you did slow down a little bit. I'm glad you brought up the thing about more awareness, because it's funny, because that is actually one of the targets, is to have more awareness. But if we go back to that simple idea that it's just awareness, well, it's one thing if you're aware of, like, let's say an ounce of sadness or an ounce of pain in somebody's body. It's a whole other thing if you're aware of 1,000 times that, which for a lot of people, as their awareness increases, they don't want to acknowledge its awareness because it's so much more intense. But here's the beauty of having more awareness and acknowledging that our bodies give us this awareness and have this awareness and are showing it to us, is that you can actually use that to navigate your world and to know when, to know when you need to have a conversation in a relationship, for example, to know when somebody around you is hurting, or if you happen to be in the healing arts, to know what to do about the people because your body will perceive it. And then at that point, though, there's also no ownership of it. It's, once again, it's just awareness, which is amazing. And as your awareness increases, it's kind of like, the way I look at it with awareness increasing is, if anybody's ever learned to play piano, and when they first start, it sounds like a 6-year-old just banging on the keys, but more and more and more, you get this subtlety and the ability to bring in nuances and express them and facilitate this beauty that is available, that somebody who doesn't have that much awareness is going to have a tougher time doing. And so it's the beauty, like somebody said here, we can use our awareness. Yeah, it's the beauty of being able to use your awareness. I love this. I used to think I didn't work with bodies. Silly me. As a jeweler, I'm aware of the energetic contribution jewelry can be to people's bodies and often design pieces for a specific body. Right? That's great example of using that awareness. And there are people who, like clothing designers, for example, who have this savant talent for knowing what to do for a particular body type, knowing the colors, the shapes, all of that, because of their awareness. And so it's just it's just so cool, and then it also takes it out of the sort of antagonistic relationship a lot of people have with their bodies, and takes it away from, darn it, why are you like this? Why are you still fat? Why won't you change? Why do you have wrinkles? And it puts it into, oh, hello, buddy. How amazing are you for giving me all this awareness and information, And what a gift. Yeah. We had people who, I think we lost you. You cut out in the middle of a sentence. Oh, am I back? Am I good?
You're back. I'm hearing you.
Okay, good. What an amazing gift to have your body be your best friend. And, and in the body whispering
totally.
book, it's like that is part of what starts to show up and part of what can occur. Okay.
I mean, how many years have people been buying body stuff or mental stuff as theirs for 20, 25 years? It was never theirs to begin with, try to solve. Yeah.
And that's the thing is, if it's not yours, you can't solve it by working on you. It's like if your house is getting flooded because your neighbor has a busted pipe, you've got to recognize it's in their house that the thing needs to be handled, not yours. You're just getting the effect of it. So everything that is, pot and pot, all that. Somebody asked, I don't know if it was in comments or not, but you can go to Body Whisperer book to get the Body Whispering book. And it's, or you can go to every place books are sold. Really everywhere practically. Okay, this should be everywhere. If anybody knows how to get this book everywhere, please let me know. Okay.
It should be everywhere.
This is one of those, and this is one of those.
Every healing school around the world, for sure.
Say that again?
Every healing school around the world, no matter what form of healing modality it is. Because it really is an invitation to go beyond any technique or modality.
Right, and you get to use your modality even better. But then you also open up to things that are beyond the modality that are you, that no modality can encompass. tell you how many times I would be, and I hate our internet lag, by the way, so I apologize if I am talking over you. I can't tell you how many times I was in a chiropractic seminar for a particular technique, and I was like, I can't do this. Like, I'm the biggest idiot on the planet. And it wasn't until ESB, you know the feeling? You know what I'm talking about? I mean,
Big time.
didn't we both think we were the biggest friggin' idiots that ever existed?
Loser.
Totally. Actually, I think it's more like fucking loser. Yeah. Do it, which I think is appropriate. So the number of times I was sitting there going, I just don't get it. I mean, from chiropractic in general, I mean, I knew chiropractic, like I could get it, but I was always like, I always thought there was so much that I always had the sense that there was way more that I was missing than that I was getting. And so interesting because, fast forward to 20 years ago where I did the first ESB session on Gary Douglas, and I was like, oh my God, the problem wasn't that I was too stupid and had no awareness. The problem was I had awarenesses that I didn't know what they were, and nobody could tell me, and nobody could explain them to me. And so part of the beauty of the book is that but it's available for all of us, like getting you to the awareness that you actually have awareness that is way beyond anything that you ever imagined. So the book will be translated soon in as many languages as we possibly can. It takes a while, so we're in process. So we got a question, do you have any special tips for dealing with panic attacks and anxiety? Yes, stop living with your parents. Okay, I don't know if you live with your parents. That was kind of a joke. So this is a great example of who does this belong to. And what I've noticed, and there are other factors that go into it, it's a little beyond the scope of this particular conversation, but I actually have a body whispering class, a 3-day body whispering class coming up. I think it's in August, September, something like that. You can go to my website or accessconsciousness.com and look for my classes and find that if you want to. But there are other venues, like you could work with somebody, etc. But part of it is the awareness that your awareness is way bigger than you think your awareness is with panic attacks, anxiety. And who does this belong to for 3 days? We have an app, it's free, and it will change your whole world. It'll allow you to break the machine that makes you believe that all the stuff you're perceiving is yours. And then there are a few other parts of it that, like I said, it's just a little beyond where we can go right now. But there are certain implanted things that create that, and certain capacities that you might have that create that. And so we found that it is often not a very difficult matter to change, because a lot of it usually isn't yours. And when you get that awareness and start working with it, things start to shift really rapidly. And the way Who Does This Belong To works, which app, Who Does This Belong To? It's called Who Does This Belong To? From Access Consciousness. The way this thing about getting that it's not yours and the Who Does This Belong To concept works is you'll ask. If it's not yours, what you do, whenever something comes up, you just ask, who does this belong to? If it lightens up at all, it's not yours. And then return it to sender with consciousness attached. And people will do that for a while and go, I'm asking, but it's not going away, I'm asking. And then at one point, there'll be something that you've had in your life forever, as long as you can remember, and you'll just go, well, who does that belong to? Not even thinking about it, and it will go away. And it's at that point that you will get how miraculous this tool actually is. And it's so cool, because if you'll do Who Does This Belong To for 3 days, you will break the machine that makes you think that all of this awareness that you're having belongs to you. It's an amazing gift. So Yeah.
Thing, can you talk about the invitation that this work invites people to, where they begin to perceive like their being, and how that goes beyond any like technique or modality in which they could be confined by?
Oh, I love that. So that really is the journey of being. And people think, well, I must be being me. I'm awake, I'm alive still. But what we find if we explore this at all is we're doing a lot of things that are not really about us or for us, that we've learned we need to do or we need to be, that actually are an invalidation of our being. And so it's what you realize with this, going on this journey, and this, the Body Whispering book is I'm so grateful for how it turned out. And because it does exactly what you're talking about. It starts opening up the space of your being, but not from a checklist, not from another structure that you're going to follow. It's actually undoing the need for structure that allows you to just show up. And I realized a long time ago when I did the very first ESP session, Gary said to me, look, the first two levels of care, because there were three levels of care, I was doing network chiropractic. He said, look, the first two don't work on me. You need to go straight to the third level. And I was like, oh man, I don't know how to do that. And he said, ask my body what it wants, follow the energy, you'll know what to do. He was the first person who ever said I would know what to do. And what it did is it opened up something in my world where I was like, I know. And it kind of kept going through my head, like this whisper of, I know. And I was like, whoa, that was terrifying, exciting and terrifying all at the same time. But what I did was I just opened up and just beed with him. And there's all this energy going on and all this stuff. And I was like, whoa. And later I just realized I'm just being like, hi, here I am. Yeah. But when you be with another being or with a body, yours or someone else's, with no judgment, and you let down the walls and barriers, it's got this space that allows transformation. Because it's our judgments that we lock in as the solid blocks of life and the solid aspects of reality that don't have to be. And lowering the walls and barriers and just being with someone. And let's face it, it's oftentimes much easier to just be with someone else and be with their body and perceive it with total presence and gratitude and the beauty that you see it as than it is with our own. But it's a place to start, But that space of being, it changes everything, because then once you start to get a sense of it, you usually desire more of it. And you're willing to go on the exploration of, wow, what's really true for me that I've never considered? What can I be that I never imagined? What is possible for me that I never imagined was possible before? And you start showing up in a different way in your life where it's like, hi, I'm here. I don't have to project anything. I don't have to prove anything. I'm just here. Hi.
Yep. And as you do that for someone else and you create that in their universe, it somehow gifts back to you as the person delivering that. So you start to actually perceive that space of being within you. So there's this gifting and receiving that's happening simultaneously, unlike all the other techniques and stuff I did before where it was just me gifting. There's this exchange that goes back. So it's like we get facilitated in that process and journey of inviting people to that space of being.
Love that. And exactly that simultaneity of gifting and receiving. And that's how the universe works, the whole darn thing. It's like if you've ever had that thing where you gave somebody a gift that you really, really were so thrilled to be giving them, of any form, even a hug or an actual gift or whatever, and they receive it, it's a gift back to us. And what if there's this possibility my sense is there's this possibility now for our lives, our interaction with our bodies, our interaction with each other, to get way more beautiful, like to have more beauty in our lives. And one of the questions I've suggested that people ask is, what is the beautiful energy underneath this? If you're, and you can do it with anything, even things that you're like, there is no beauty here. But ask, what is the beautiful energy underneath this? Because underneath it is something that has this beauty to it that will change your perspective and make the world a greater place for you and your body.
Yeah. And there's no destination either, Dain. It's like it keeps going.
Yeah.
It keeps going. I mean, it's like you've been doing Access for over 20 years now, and I'm close to 10, and it's like there's no ceiling to this.
In fact, I feel like I'm just getting started. Like I just finally got off the starting line. You know, I'm like, oh hey, you know, it's like if the book of possibilities has 200,000 pages, I'm on like page 15 by now. You know, and what a gift to enjoy the journey. You know, and with all the ups and downs. You know, this phrase we have in Access, all of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory, is really so useful. And, we suggest saying it 10 times in the morning and 10 times in the evening. And it really is just such a gift. I mean, what if we could enjoy the journey, the ups, the downs, the all arounds? The interesting part is when you have this connection with your body that we're talking about, the Body Whispering book leads you to and through, that's far more accessible.
Cool. Something you said to me a long, long time ago, and you still continue to say it, is the universe has your back. And that was a really tough concept for me to, I didn't get it, because at that point in my life, I always felt like I kept getting kicked in the balls over and over and over again. And so, and every time these spaces would get created, it's like, whoa, there's something there. And you can actually perceive it's palpable. Something that you can't really put into words, which you do so elegantly or eloquently, it becomes palpable. And you're like, holy shit. And then you start to perceive the possibilities for your future. And then you start to get that, you know what, no matter what you've been through, no matter what your struggles are, that doesn't have to be your future. It doesn't have to be your future. And I'm just so grateful. And we've just begun. Like you said, it's like we've just begun, but the journey is beautiful.
Truly. I love that. And it really, man, we could talk for hours. It's like, and it's so, it really is beautiful. I think a lot of people on here notice the beauty of that space. And this is the space of us, and how does it get any better than that?
Yeah.
Well, my friend, somebody asked me to mention the other Body Whispering, which is a Kajabi course. Somebody not on here, but in my other ear. So yeah, there's a Kajabi course called Body Whispering also that the book was sort of roughly based on. So there's that. So wow, this has just been phenomenal. And isn't it interesting? Here we are, we're talking about body whispering, right? And it's like, now that we're bringing our body into the conversation, the energetics of this conversation are more accessible to everybody.
Yes.
Wow. These sweet creatures, man, they have put up with us for so long. Oh my goodness. So I like this comment. This is the space of us. Boom.
Exactly.
So true. Oh, well, I could talk for hours, but I think we did what we came to do.
Yeah, come to the class in September. Body Whispering class. It'll be fun.
Yeah. on, baby, come. It'll be so much fun. And yeah, obviously the book is available. You can go to, hold on, let me find it. bodywhispererbook.com for anybody who can't see your screen. And just thank you for joining us. And Mr. Anthony, thank you very much for joining me today. It's been a great conversation.
Thank you for the invitation.
Thank you. See y'all beautiful people. Enjoy your body way more than you're supposed to. And as my friend Gary says, remember, be bad. It's way more fun than being good. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.